welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Urban Decay Naked Honey eyeshadow palette. If you do want to see a review and a demo, please keep watching. This eyeshadow palette does retail for $49 at Sephora and Ulta Beauty. I purchased mine at Sephora because it was an early exclusive release. It's currently not available online at Ulta Beauty. It will be online September 23rd and in store September 26th at Ulta, but it is available at Sephora, which I think is awesome. I did go on Urban Decay's Instagram in the beginning of September, and they did have this beautiful photo, I will post it right here, of these 3 swatches. This was the photo that sold me this eyeshadow palette. I saw those swatches and I immediately was blown away. I needed to have it in my collection. Hopefully the swatches are pigmented as it does appear in this photo. Here's a close-up of what the eyeshadow palette looks like. It says Naked Honey Eyeshadow Palette by Urban Decay, and when you flip it over to the back, you do have the shade names here at the top and then the ingredients here on the bottom. When you open up the packaging, here's what the eyeshadow palette looks like. It is so beautiful. My eyes immediately draw me to the packaging. This is a plastic packaging. Let's go ahead and open up the eyeshadow palette. Look how beautiful. You do get a dual-ended brush as well, but these shades are really what sold the eyeshadow palette to me. And of course the mirror, because you guys know I love any eyeshadow palette that does come with a mirror. The first shade we're going to be swatching is called Flyby. It's an ivory satin shadow. Ooh, it is so buttery in the pan. Wow. Super pigmented. Here's what the shade in Flyby looks like. Look how pigmented that is. The next shadow is called Sting. It's a beige matte shadow. Here's what the shade in Sweet looks like. I did not have to dig really hard into the pan, and look how pigmented that is. The next shade is called Swarm. It's a mustard shadow. Very nice and soft in the pan. Here's what Swarm looks like. The next shadow is called Amber. It's a copper shadow. Here's what the shadow in Amber looks like. Look at that metallic shimmer shadow. The next shade is called Keeper. The shade in Keeper is a mustard brown matte shade. We have the shade in Keeper. I honestly thought these shades would look a little bit too chalky on my skin complexion. They do seem a little bit light for me. The next shade is called Golden. Golden is of course a gold shimmer shadow. Right next to Golden we have the shade in Honey, which looks exactly like Golden in the pan to me, but it might be a different shimmer shade. Here we have the shade in Honey. They do look similar. This one's a little bit lighter. I just don't think both of these shades were necessary in the palette. We could have just done with this shadow. This is kind of too light. The next shadow is called Queen. Queen is described as a golden brown shimmer. That's a really nice shadow. The next shade is called Hive. Hive is described as a warm brown matte shadow. I already have a bunch of shades in my collection that looks exactly like this shadow. Again, I don't think this shade was necessary. It's a honey palette. Let's see how the other shades do swatch. The next shade is called Drip. Drip is described as a warm reddish brown, and it's a matte shadow. The second to last shade is called HBIC. HBIC is described as a rosy bronze shimmer shadow. The last shade in the eyeshadow palette is called Sting. Sting is described as a deep, warm, brown matte shadow. Here we have all 12 shadows swatched on the back of my hand. A lot of these shadows do look similar in my opinion. These 2 shades right here, they look quite similar. These 2 golden shadows, I don't think this was necessary. Urban Decay could have kept one of these shadows. I don't think they needed both of them in this palette. Let's see how they do apply on the eyes. Here's what the dual-ended brush looks like that does come with the eyeshadow palette. You do have a fluffier side. Ooh, this is so soft. And then you have more of a dense flat side. You guys always ask me in the comments down below what foundation I'm wearing, what moisturizer, what primer. I do want to quickly mention what I am currently wearing on my face. For moisturizer today, I went in with my Drunk Elephant Polypeptide Cream. I got this as my birthday gift sample from Sephora. I forgot to pick it up in August and we're in September, so they were kind enough to give me my birthday gift, so I'm currently using this all over. For primer today, I'm wearing the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Foundation I currently have on is by Wet n Wild. It's a photo focus foundation. This foundation makes me look flawless. I've been testing out a ton of new foundations for an entire week. I decided to reach for an oldie but a goodie, and it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I currently have all over the shade in Toffee, and then for concealer I have the shade in Caramel. Now we're going to be creating a look using this eyeshadow palette. The first shade I am going to be taking is this shadow here in Swarm. I'm going to be picking it up on this dual-ended brush. I will be using the fluffy side. Taking a little bit on my brush, I'm going to be buffing that all over my crease. It looks like I applied no eyeshadow on my lids. The shadow in Swarm looks exactly like my concealer shade in Caramel. Instead of the shade in Swarm, we are going to be dipping into the shade in Hive. I'm going to be using the same brush with the same fluffy side. The pigment that I was looking for. I really do like how that shadow did blend out. The next shade I am going to be picking up is a shade in Golden. I'm going to be using the same brush. This time I'm going to be using the flat end. Taking the shade in Golden and packing that all over my crease. That is so pigmented. Wow. It does have a tiny bit of fallout, which you guys know I'm not a fan of fallout, but if the shadow applies amazingly pigmented like this shade is, then I don't mind it. And if I don't have to use a lot of product, that is good as well. I think I will just place this shade in Golden in the center, and then on my outer corner, I'll apply a different glitter shadow. I'm going to be doing the same thing for the other eye. Taking a clean brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Amber. I'm going to apply that on my outer V. I'm just going to blend those two shades together so there's no harsh lines. Using that same brush, I'm going to dip into the shade HBIC, applying it in my inner corner and lifting it just a little bit towards the center, blending those two shadows in Golden and HBIC together. It looks really pretty. I love how everything looks blended. Here's how the eyeshadow is currently looking like. I'm going to be adding some mascara and I'll be right back. Here's how everything looks like with mascara and a lip. For mascara, I currently have on my L'Oreal Unlimited mascara. This is my favorite mascara from the drugstore. I added about 3 layers to achieve this look. For lips, I currently have 3 different lip products, and it's by Carly Bible X Ale Maquillage. I first applied the shade in Serious all over my lip. On top of Serious, I applied the shade in Luna all over again. To blend everything in together, I applied the shade in Luna. It's the lip liner. I just applied that all over, and then I kept on applying it, and that's what created this. I love this lip combo. It is beautiful. Now let's talk about this eyeshadow palette. I do think a lot of these shades look extremely similar to one another. I honestly don't think I needed this eyeshadow palette in my collection. For some reason, I do feel like this eyeshadow palette is too light for my skin complexion. I do feel like if you are fair to medium skin complexion, this eyeshadow would pop on you, but if you're more of my skin complexion or a deeper skin complexion, you would have to build up the pigment with this eyeshadow palette. It's not one swipe pigment like it does appear on the swatches. You do really have to build it up. I was super disappointed with the shade in Swarm. It matched my skin complexion. I don't really think that I can wear all of these shades. The quality of these eyeshadows are superb. I love how pigmented they were. But in all honesty, I don't think I really needed this eyeshadow palette in my collection. I do have a lot of warm, neutral, golden shadows in my collection. I would only recommend this eyeshadow palette if you love warm, neutral, golden eyeshadow. If you have something similar in your collection, you don't need it. I'm never going to Sephora. It's because I needed to pick up my birthday gift, and I ended up seeing this eyeshadow palette there. Do you guys feel that this eyeshadow palette was necessary by Urban Decay? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.